Hi, everybody. It's Wednesday. Woohoo! Okay, so YNR is saving itself by the skin of its teeth because every time I get bored and I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't watch anymore, they do something to give me some meat, and it's like, finally. Okay, so all the stuff is gonna come down pretty soon because okay. Let's see. They captured Matt Clark. We don't know what Victor's gonna do to him because, like I said, the last scene yesterday was he was in a room with Matt, and he looked at him like, "I'm gonna hurt you," and then cut. Right? Okay. So apparently they think we need a break from that. So now the stories are that Jack was talking to Billy, and let me say, every time I know that Peter Bergman is going to be on, I'm like, oh, it's going to be good today because he lets it on the line every time. Okay, and they have this brother chemistry like no other. You totally feel that Jack is the older brother and trying to help Billy, but then gets frustrated, so he starts yelling every time. So awesome. Okay, so, and it's funny because I said the same thing he said before he said. I said, okay, Billy is gonna get into this obsessive phase, and I talked about addictive behavior, but also I said, seems to me like he's got something to prove to somebody. And also, he feels like he is owed something by Kane because he thought that Jill, their mother, favored Kane over him. I detailed all that. So that's where we are today. Okay? And so the fallout is, what is Sally going to do? And what's he going to do? So, what is Sally going to do in response to whatever he does? Because, okay, to lay it out, and I'm sorry, this is going to be a longer video because I have to lay this out. Okay, to lay it out, Sally and Billy are together in a company, Abbott Communications. She's supposed to run it, but he's supposed to be her backup. Okay, so if he gets out of it and decides to run whatever alone, the company that Kane wants to give him was called Arabesque, I think. But anyway, he might change the name. But anyway, okay, if he chooses to take that, then Sally is going to be alone running this thing. And also, I think she's going to be pissed, really pissed. So this might cost him their relationship too. Because remember, they work together and they have a personal relationship as well. So he has a lot to lose in a way. You know what I mean? So, like I said, the ultimate question is going to be, does he feel like he has to prove something to somebody more? Or is he going to do the right thing and back up his girlfriend and not worry about vendettas, revenge, whatever, you know? So, I don't know. I'd like to say that Billy, the character, has had some growth, but I have seen no evidence of that at this point. Because every time I think, okay, he's growing, he goes back into the, but I gotta prove stuff, or somebody owes me something. Okay, which this is kind of an aside, but if you have that mindset anyway, life is not gonna go good because if you wake up every morning thinking somebody owes you something or you have to prove something to somebody, you're never going to prove anything to anybody because you're always going to think, yeah, I got to prove it to this person, that person, that person. It's not a good way to go. But I digress because we're in soap opera, so, you know. Okay. On the other side, um, Jack and Nikki will always have this bond. And yes, they were married. Okay, that's clear. However, I think there's another bond that's like better than friendship that Victor will never be able to touch. And also, I think that's why he doesn't like their bond or whatever, because it's not anything romantic at all. I don't think so. Okay. But if they do have a bond, and Victor is threatened by that. So, okay, keep that in mind for future reference. Okay. Okay. On the other side, we have Phyllis. Now, okay, now I want to make myself clear on this one because I said Phyllis deserves a win. I still believe that. However, a big however, the way you go about it matters. Okay? If you mow down people to do it, it makes it not relevant anymore. I mean, really, Phyllis? Really? And I know Michelle Stafford is great. Okay, I'm not saying that. But Phyllis, whew, so Daniel, and I know a lot of parents, okay, because parents might look at the situation between Phyllis and Daniel and go, Daniel, why aren't you supporting your mom? Okay, I have the other side. That's all well and good. Daniel is trying to be the voice of reason here. Okay? He's trying to say, okay, great, I'm on your side, but let's think about all the possible fallout that might happen if you do X, Y, and Z. And she's like, but you're not being supportive. Why can't you just be happy for me for once? He's trying to point out all the booby traps. You need somebody in your life like that because if you go, you're going to go gung ho and fall on your face. I've seen it happen. Honey. Oh, boy. Okay. So, you got to remember all that because when the fallout happens, it's going to be huge. Not only will it affect families' businesses, but also family internal relations. It's going to be a big kapow. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Like, I can see it. Okay. Bye, everybody.